In this video, you are going to get an in-depth look at how we've been using Proclaim presentation software in our worship ministry. We're going to show you our workflow, including how we build song slides, sermon slides, and other media assets for worship. We'll even show you how we set up automation with Proclaim using Ableton Live. Finally, we'll share our opinions on the pros and cons of this software. By the end of this video, you'll take away some great ideas for improving visuals in worship, and you'll learn why Proclaim is one of the best tools for the job. Coming up. My name is Jake Goslin with Churchfront.com, helping you lead gospel-centered and tech-savvy worship. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of our latest videos to help you grow yourself and grow your worship ministry. I also want to invite you to check out worshipleaderschool.com, where we have online courses, coaching, a community to help you grow and flourish as a worship leader. So just click the link in the description or go to worshipleaderschool.com to learn more. For the past month, our team has been using Proclaim presentation software to display lyrics, videos, and images in worship. I had heard about Proclaim a few years ago, but I never seriously considered trying it because I have been a longtime ProPresenter user, and that software has always worked just fine. But a couple months ago, I actually got to meet the team behind Proclaim presentation software, and they showed me its capabilities, and I was really blown away. Now, to be clear, this video is not sponsored by Proclaim. None of my videos are ever sponsored by anyone, but when a company has a cool product that I think can benefit you, I'm gonna get my hands on it. I'm gonna try it out, test drive it for a few weeks or months, and I wanna be able to give you an honest review. So I'm not gonna unpack all of the features of Proclaim in this video. You can learn more about that on their website. I just wanna focus on what it's like using this software as a worship leader who cares a lot about tech. So here's what I love about this software. First, it's intuitive to learn, to set up, and to operate on a weekly basis. Next, it's truly cloud-based, meaning you can start building a service presentation on one computer and finish building it on another, and this makes team collaboration a breeze. Next, this software has full automation capability for queuing lyrics, backgrounds, videos, images, and other media assets during worship. MIDI capability is not new to Proclaim, but recently their team made some updates to the software that dramatically improves workflow and makes it a perfect fit for our church. Proclaim is also very CPU efficient. This software doesn't suck all the power from our computer. And finally, and most importantly, this software has not crashed on us during a worship service. It is stable. Here are a few things that I don't like about the software. Number one, it doesn't have smooth scrolling, so it almost feels as if there's a lag when you're navigating the user interface. The cloud-based feature makes it a little bit slow as well when you're opening up the application. And Proclaim also lacks some truly pro user features. You cannot do multi-screen outputs, which I know is essential for some larger church venues out there. Another thing I'm not a huge fan of is you cannot cue backgrounds independently of lyric slides. This isn't a huge deal because most of the time a background will just stay the same for a whole song, but it can be difficult if you want to change backgrounds throughout a song. Another thing I don't prefer is that you can't customize the layout of the confidence monitor. It looks great by default, but if you want to tweak it, you can't. So those are the things I don't like. The fortunate thing about this list of cons is that none of them is a major deal breaker for our situation. I also spoke with their development team, and they're working on updates for things like smooth scrolling and a lot of these other changes that I would recommend that they could make. They could probably do it fairly easily. So there you have it. That's what I love about this software, and that's also what I don't like about this presentation software. At the end of the day, the pros outweigh the cons, and we will continue using Proclaim for the foreseeable future. Now I'm gonna have Ashton walk you through his workflow of setting up Proclaim on a weekly basis. Along the way, he will share what he likes and what he doesn't like about the software, and you'll get to see it in action.
All right, so I am here in Proclaim, and let's just start with an overview of the whole software. So Proclaim works in two ways. You've got your edit mode and your preview mode. So in edit mode, that's where you're going to be able to change the arrangement of your service. It's where you're going to be able to change your different songs, edit the text, edit the arrangement, edit the background, edit your sermon, all of those sorts of things. And then your preview mode, when you click that, it does take a second. So then you've got your preview mode, and this is where you can actually preview what your slides are going to look like. So this is the sermon. We've got all of our sermon slides here. You can go to more of a ProPresenter sort of view with this button up here. So this puts it in sort of the grid feature that you'd be used to if you do use ProPresenter. I mean, again, this is a little bit of a demonstration of that smooth scrolling that Jake was talking about. it feels a little bit laggy. Nothing's actually going wrong. It just doesn't feel quite smooth as you're scrolling through. So I'll head back to edit mode to kind of give you guys a walkthrough of our service items. You have your pre-service loop, your warm-up, which is where your countdown or whatever is going to go on before the service is located. You have your actual service items. So for us, that is 5 songs, our sermon, our host slides, our bumper, anything else that you might want to put in there. And then for the post-service loop, this is where you can put post-service looping of slides with different announcements and stuff. We just play our pre-service loop, so that is why I don't have anything down there. Everything for the service is on this left side. In the middle here, you're going to see this is where you can edit your slides. So our pastor, for his slides, we actually just import them as JPEG images from PDF. So we can't necessarily edit the text in the slide, but I can rearrange slides, I can delete slides, I could add images, add slides in there. On every service item, you have a few different options for editing. So obviously for the sermon, we don't want it to auto advance ever. We don't want a countdown clock, but we do want it to fade. So as you go through these, if we go back to preview mode, because that fade transition is selected, you'll see up here, this is where you can preview what is actually being displayed on the screen. We'll just click through and you see that kind of nice fade transition. So we want to make sure that that's on. If you go to any of your songs, you're also going to have a few options in that middle section of editing. So I'll just click on Another in the Fire here. So you'll see we have the text for the song here, different CCLI options, title, credits, and then that fade transition as well. So if I was to go back to preview, click through, we'd have that nice fade. Then on the right side, obviously you're going to have your different previews. So in edit mode for a song, you're going to be able to preview what is actually on each slide, make sure that the things you're changing are actually doing what you want them to do. So last thing for the general overview of Proclaim is the way that your media and backgrounds are stored. So anything you're importing, whether it's these visual backgrounds, whether it's your sermon from your pastor, your video bumper, any of that is going to be stored in the cloud. So what's nice about that and Proclaim's cloud feature is that everything I do on this computer in the cloud will show up on this MacBook in the cloud. And I also have my Faith Life team here. So if you look up at the top of the screen, you can see me, you can see one of our tech guys, Jeremy, and how he edited last Thursday. So you can really collaborate on your Proclaim service a lot easier using this cloud feature. But the way that media is stored, so let's say I wanted to change the background for Another in the Fire. I do like that background, but let's just say we want to change it. Make sure you are in edit mode, then you click background. We're going to say browse media. So it's going to open this media browser. And what's nice about this media browser is that you have sort of a popular tag section or different collections where Proclaim actually has a lot of free media that you can use. We do use motion backgrounds. So how it works is this is all media items that I have uploaded myself. So if I'm going into worship visuals, here's some of the backgrounds that I've made. We've got our colored smoke, anything like that. So this is what I'm using for Another in the Fire currently. But say I wanted to go with something a little bit lighter, maybe this more smoky vibe. So you'd click that. You want to make sure that your looping videos are checked to loop. That took me a little bit to find. So you want to make sure your backgrounds are looping if you're using a video, and then you just click apply as background, and that will set your background in a moment here. If you wanted to upload a media item, you would go to that media browser and then you could import media. So you can import images, you can import audio, song lyrics, fonts, any of that into Proclaim. And again, anything I do there and upload into the cloud will be accessible to me from any other computer that is also running Proclaim as long as I am signed in. And then the last little piece, just a little helpful tip, is when you are importing media, so I'll go to import some sort of image or video. Let's just throw this King of Kings background into here again. So you click open. Now you can organize everything through boards. So obviously you add your title, you can add a tag, so you can search in the media browser with different tags. So I would tag this with maybe worship visuals so that I could find it quickly, but I like to use the boards. So when I add to board, I already have a worship visuals board. So I know that that is where I'm storing all of my custom worship visuals. So I would just click that. I don't want to loop this video, but if you are importing one file or lots of files that are looping backgrounds, if you click loop video or loop videos, it'll automatically select that for you every time you go to upload that. And then when you add it, it'll upload It takes a minute. You can see up here it's uploading one file. It's going pretty quickly. And then I can access that in the media browser whenever I want from any computer connected to the cloud. So that is it for the sort of general overview. Let's get into how you would actually go about adding and editing songs in Proclaim. So to add any sort of service item, you're going to come up here to the Add Item button and you click whatever you want. So you could have your on-screen Bible, announcements, videos, slideshow, any of these things you can use, but obviously we're going to click song. So Proclaim does integrate with CCLI and Song Select, so you would just add your account by going into the settings and following the instructions there. It's pretty straightforward, but let's say we want to let's do Another in the Fire again, since it's already there. Let's say we wanted to add Another in the Fire, and so I'll search Another in the Fire. Now, the song that I have already taken saves automatically in the My Songs section. So anytime I want to pull Another in the Fire, I would click that My Song thing. But let's just say I haven't done this song yet. Song select, I'm going to do that Another in the Fire. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to change some of the formatting. So when you're adding a song, anything that you change on one slide will automatically change on the rest of the slides. First, I'm going to start with my title slide. I want this to be more at the top. I want maybe a different font. So you can just go in here. You can change any font, any size, any of that. And then you can go into styles, and any style that you make with your font and size and all that, you can save as a specific style. So I would just type, if this is, Proclaim video style, any changes I make would save as this style. But for this, I'm just going to use a preset that I've already loaded in for Mission Lakewood. So that automatically is going to adjust the title slide to where it needs to be. Now, I need to fix the rest of these slides. The title slide is dealt with separately than the rest of the slides. So I'm going to go into the other slides. I'm going to go back into styles. I'm going to click Mission Lakewood again. And you're going to see the font changed. Everything went up to that kind of top third of the slide. So now we need to go through and fix some of the other formatting issues. So the way Proclaim works is super simple. So on the same slide, there's a grace when the heart is under fire. If I put there's a grace and I put a break there, it's going to automatically separate those into two different lines on one slide. If I enter and put a space between two different lines of text, it's going to automatically separate and create another slide. So we like to only have maybe one or two lines of text just like that for our slides. So if I was going to go through and edit this, I won't do the whole thing, but there's a grace when the heart is under fire, another way when the walls are closing in, space there. When I look at the space between where I used to be in this reckoning, I know I will never be alone. And you would just go through for your whole song. You would adjust it however you like. If you want blank slides, you can always put in brackets. You can put things like blank, and that will automatically throw a blank slide right in there. You can also use your arrangement. So this arrangement currently just standard goes verse, chorus, tag, bridge, verse, chorus. And you can adjust this however you'd like. So if I want at the end of chorus 3, if I want another verse, if I want another bridge, I could just put that in there. It'll automatically throw a bridge at the end of this song. So if you are going to use the arrangement at your church for your purposes, we don't personally like to use it. That's just a preference. You can add anything you want into it. If you want to add a different chorus, a different verse, different tag, whatever it is, you can add that in just by following the same formatting. So if I wanted to add a chorus 4, I would type chorus 4 and make sure I spell it right. Chorus 4. This is chorus 4. Very cool. Then I want to make sure that I go up here. If I want it to come after chorus 1 or before chorus 1, wherever you want it to go, I would type in chorus 4, comma. So now if I go to chorus 1 right here, then we've got our chorus 4 coming up. If I was not in arrangement view, I'm going to uncheck this. It's actually going to go from verse to chorus, and it's going to follow the way that I've edited it here instead of in the arrangement. So after verse 1, this is chorus 4. Very cool. So this is the basics of how you add and edit songs in Proclaim. One last little quick thing. I went ahead and titled it Another in the Fire 2, and now automatically anytime I go looking for the song Another in the Fire, this version will automatically pop up next to the version I have previously created that is edited. So any changes you make, anything you title will automatically save in the cloud in Proclaim. Let's take a look at the pre-service loop section. So I'm going to go back to edit mode. Then I'm going to head over to the announcements. So this is just an image slideshow that we have set to auto advance every 10 seconds and use a fade transition. So if I was to preview this, And maybe we can have some fun counting to 10 here together. These images that we uploaded, they're all here. Sometimes we have more, sometimes we have less. It's really easy to just add those images into the slideshow. Since this is the pre-service loop, it should change here in a second. There we go. So it automatically loops through those. Every 10 seconds, it will loop through these forever. What is cool about Proclaim is its on-air feature. So when you click on air, that is what lets Proclaim know that you are ready to send whatever is here onto your projector or whatever you're using to display. Proclaim will not display on your projectors if you do not have on air clicked. We have learned that the hard way a few times. But the cool thing about on air and Proclaim is that it does a lot of things for you. So Proclaim automatically has you input the date for what service you are building a set list for. So this was for last Sunday, Sunday, November 17th, and it shows up on the calendar, 17th. We have our service start time set to 10 a.m. You can really easily adjust that by just clicking it and typing the time. But when I go on air on Sunday, November 17th, or whatever set I make next Sunday, the 24th, when I click on air at 10 a.m., it is automatically going to start the main service. So what that means is it's going to do the pre-service loop, these 5 items every 10 seconds. It's going to loop through these forever until 5 minutes and 26 seconds before 10 a.m. when it's going to play our countdown video, because our countdown video is 5 minutes and 26 seconds long. So what's nice about that is you hit on air on Sunday and you don't have to worry about anything. The countdown will automatically play so that right when the countdown hits 0, it's actually going to be at 0 seconds on the countdown right at 10 a.m. And then I just cue the first song in Ableton since we do automation, which we'll get more into later. But it's a great feature that, especially for smaller churches or medium churches, or if you don't have a ton of tech volunteers, you don't have to touch it. You don't have to touch Proclaim. It'll automatically do your pre-service loop and your countdown and all of those things. So going along with the on-air feature is the pre-service music feature. So what's cool about Proclaim is that you can play audio from your Mac or your PC out of Proclaim on any one of your service items. So you can kind of see these blue and red little mute and sound buttons here. So in our pre-service loop, if you click that first one, this is where we have all of our audio tracks. So our pre-service music is Hillsong United, their People album. We just imported that in from iTunes as MP3 files. You do that by clicking Add Audio Tracks, Import, or Browse Audio if you have uploaded audio previously into the media browser. And then what's important to set is that this continue or repeat until stopped. You can have your music stop at the end of the section, which would end after the pre-service loop. You can have it end at the end of playlist. So after it goes through all of the tracks, it will end there. But so how we have it set up is it is going to automatically, when I click on air, it is going to automatically start playing that music, and you can adjust the volume of it there. So then this music is going to continue playing until it hits one of these stop cues. And how you add a stop cue is if you go on any item, you can see this little gray sort of icon, and I'm going to click stop background audio. So that means if audio was playing up through these points, it will automatically stop there. So if I go back to my pre-service, the music's going to start back up. You can hear it coming in right there. I added a stop cue at the warm-up, so right when I click the countdown, it's going to automatically start playing this video, and it's going to cut that music, which is super great. And this is our countdown video. It goes all the way through until it ends. We do run automation at our church, so I'm just going to give you guys a quick demonstration of how automation works in Proclaim. So I've got Ableton open on my first laptop. I've got preview mode open up in Proclaim on this second laptop. I'm going to go ahead and throw it in the big screen mode. So I will queue up my countdown here so you guys can get a feel for what a Sunday would actually look like. Countdown's going down. Let's just pretend it's at 0 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and start the beginning of song 1. You're going to see my lights in light key are all off. You're going to see the red lights come on right as the song starts. Song automatically cues itself. You're going to see this no text quick screen. Text is going to turn off. Yep, just like that. Then our band light is going to turn on. Boom, and slide 2, just like that. And then it's automatically going through each slide. Slide 3, slide 4, and so forth. Let's say if I was to, start a different song, Another in the Fire. Boom. It's going to go to blank. Light key's going to be black. And then you're going to see red, Another in the Fire turn on at the same time.
If you are considering using Proclaim, go ahead and give it a try. Is it better than ProPresenter? We don't think better or worse is the right descriptor. It's different. Proclaim is great for smaller to mid-sized churches with a simple display configuration. And if you're still using PowerPoint or Google Slides, then I highly recommend switching to Proclaim to get you started on the journey of better presentation in worship. If you're already using software like ProPresenter and it's working great for you and your team, then I would recommend just staying the course. If it's not working great for you, then go ahead and try Proclaim. At the end of the day, it's up to you and your team what presentation software is best for your ministry. After using Proclaim for a month, it's on the top of my list of recommended software for worship. It's not perfect, but it's intuitive and it is powerful. For a complete list of all of our recommended gear and software for ministry, make sure you download our Worship Ministry Toolkit linked below. And I want to remind you to go check out worshipleaderschool.com. I know how overwhelming it can be trying to navigate all these tools that are out there and are available for your worship ministry. So we specialize in coming alongside of worship ministries, especially in smaller to mid-sized churches, and helping you build a robust technology infrastructure for your ministry so it can grow, it can flourish, and you can just achieve high levels of excellence. So visit worshipleaderschool.com to learn more and get started today. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button and share it with your friends in ministry. You can check out some related videos right on over here, and don't forget to subscribe to the Churchfront channel so you can continue to receive all of our latest videos to help you grow yourself and grow your church.